Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Anime on Draft. And there goes Rolando.
Is it going crazy again?
Yeah, it's going crazy. Um, we got a little bit of a different episode for you this week. There's only myself and Rolando, but we are joined by the Irish Goodnight. How's it going, man?
Hey, how you
Welcome.
guys doing? It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome
Good,
back.
good. Yeah, welcome back. Um, we're going to be talking some more Cowboy Bebop. We're going to get into the finale just a little bit. We are missing Drew and Alex, so we'll talk more about the finale, the last two episodes, the Real Folk Blues, next week. So tune in again if you want to hear Alex's opinions and thoughts, since he was a first time watcher. We're not going to be drinking any beers this week. I think we're just kind of making this casual. Well, actually, we're not featuring any beer, I should say. We are enjoying some beers, but we're just gonna keep it casual. What did you get, Ian? What you went out and grabbed something?
Well, I talked myself down from the 40 ounce to just a Guinness,
Okay,
but I
all right,
wanted something classic
nice.
and iconic to mourn a certain person.
Oh,
And
I
I
I
guess
feel
maybe
that.
you're not talking about it today, but
No, no, no,
yeah.
no, 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 no. I feel that. I feel you. That was a good choice. I picked up Pete's Secret Stash by Revision Brewing Company. This is a hazy.
Ooh,
I just
Look
thought
at
the
that
can art
candor.
was
it's
pretty
Pete
funny.
himself, right?
I think it's Pete. Oh, yeah,
It's got to be.
I mean,
It's
I
got to
hope
be
it's
him.
Pete.
let's go with it.
His name's on it.
I hope it's Pete.
They just grabbed a man. They're all you.
You got a sweet stash. Come with us.
Can you
um,
say the words Pete?
Pete.
What if
um,
it was just a really peaty beer? What would you feel
Oh
about that?
shit.
just a really
That's probably
He
what
peaty
it
just
is.
hazy
smells it.
IPA.
It's like
Like, well, I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about that. To be honest with you.
it's like if you had like Caskmates, but just from more like from Islay or something like that.
It's
Hmm.
just so earthy. Just.
Just super earthy.
um, I don't know. That red ale that we had, that was like super peaty. That I think that was like borderline kind of odd to me. I mean, it was different.
It,
I don't know if I
It's a
could.
very odd flavor.
Yeah, it was like it almost wanted to be like it was like casked and like barrel aged, but like it just wasn't. I don't know how I'd feel about that flavor in a hazy or an IPA. I don't know.
oh.
Maybe in a porter.
Maybe in a
You
word.
have smoked porters. Like it's kind of like smoky, earthy. Who knows? It might just make
Earth
it
tones.
all musky. So
Mm,
who knows how good that would taste?
mm, yum. Well. Anyways, we're gonna be talking about the. We want to do this first. We want to jump right into this. The Orishiri segment, since we got you here. Let's start it off with some heavy stuff. Let's get real into it. Um,
Oh,
yeah, and
first.
then later on we'll get into some more uplifting stuff, some fun stuff like the winter premieres and stuff. But yeah, let's get into Bebop. Um,
All right.
man, I love this show. These two
Drew
episodes.
is different because I worked out in the new year and I ate vegetables.
Oh,
Grew out his
I
hair.
ate vegetables too.
Yeah, eat your vegetables. um, yeah, the Real Folk Blues is it, this is like what I mentioned a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you listened, Ian, where like the tone of the show just like starts to shift, and you start
Right.
noticing like it gets really serious. Ed and Ein leave, and then Faye leaves, but she kind of comes back. She like sticks around. And even from like those kind of departures from the bebop, like you just start feeling like this like heavy, what the heck, just like a heavy kind of atmosphere on the bebop, and it's an odd one. And then they just hit you with the feels like right as soon as you get into it with Julia, and then she starts coming back, and then Spike is almost lost in the world. I think, um, or just kind of consigned to almost fulfilling his fate. I guess the end of his journey, really. Um,
Oh.
Yeah, and I think that this is something that I have heard before, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard this. Like when talking about like Bebop is like, uh, um, Spike's like fate in the end. Why does he keep doing this?
Uh, no, I get what you mean. The whole thing, um, Spike and Vicious and Julia,
What
they
just happened?
what's going on?
It's all good. It's more of Rolando, and that's what I wanted.
Is it the camera?
Yeah, it's. I think
Like
it's
my
a
camera
camera.
isn't doing anything on
It's
here, so it's
it's like adjusting your size just
I don't know why.
every like 30
Drew's
seconds.
having his revenge on the person that is not really Drew.
Um, but the whole stuff between Spike, Vicious, and Julia,
Mhm.
they're all like interconnected. They're so like intertwined and tied together, like their destinies, that like it just feels like as soon as everything goes into motion, like they were going to be pulled together and essentially die.
Die now.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, and I think like if you're kind of paying like close attention and you look at like all the really short imagery that it just kind of flashes with you or flashes you with throughout the series, like you get like this rose in the rain, you get the tombstones, you get the just rain really, and it's just like such heavy depictions of like their kind of fate together. I don't know, it's just so it's something that isn't quite as surprising as you think it is, but it still hits you pretty hard. Because I mean, like, I don't know,
yeah.
like you just don't
Yeah.
you don't want to admit that it's gonna happen. Just like
Ian?
It's
I'm
yeah,
just,
it's a pretty gnarly
Oh,
they basically are telling you he's gonna do this the whole time, right?
that he's
Like
just gonna go and
like have this dramatic kind of because it's clear he doesn't like care about being alive, right? Like the whole time he's just like joking about life, you know? Spike is.
yeah, he's never felt like he was alive because
Yeah.
he said
Mhm.
before that he's already died.
right.
Right. He's like already a prosthetic extension of his old self. And like he just like DF. He's like, whatever.
Yeah, like he kind of just already signed up his life to be forfeit at that point, which is really sad, and it's like it's pretty depressing. Especially that line where he's talking about his eye, like he's like, oh, I've already lost my eye, and all it does is see into the past. I mean, essentially, just because it's like a reminder of his past, and he just can't seem to forget about it. Um, which is man, it's pretty heart wrenching because you want this guy to keep moving forward. Like he had a chance to start a new life with like a new family essentially, with Ed or Jet, Ed, Ein, and Faye. Like they could have started something good, but it's like you said, Rolando. Like the fates of Julia and Vicious were just so ingrained to each other that I feel like he just had no choice.
Yeah, they just pulled him back in.
Mm-hmm. So quickly too, it seemed.
Yep. I think on a certain, is it still jumping around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um on a certain level,
can
if
drink
you
now.
if you look at um if you look at what happened, it felt like this was what was kind of destined to occur, because essentially everything that happens between when Spike originally leaves the syndicate to now should have happened back then when Spike first died, because like everything is essentially happening again. Um,
I'm glad you bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
you why?
Oh, because sometimes, and I don't necessarily say this is my real theory of Cowboy Bebop, but sometimes I view it as a reoccurring cycle, uh, as like an endless dream. And I see it foretold in the Mushroom episode where Spike is willing to climb an endless ladder. Like he degaffs on a spiritual level. Like he's so degaffed that if someone's like, yo, if you keep doing this, you'll never have either heaven or hell. You'll just be climbing forever. And he's like, whatever.
He's in his own purgatory.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's something that like he kind of alludes to. Yeah, definitely in various parts. He's and I think I might have mentioned this too with like the whole chess game plot where he's kind of like, yeah, well, we're just kind of all pawns, and he's almost
Yeah, that's
just saying
fucked.
that like, yeah, do we really have like full control over our lives? And I think when I mentioned that, that was with Karen. She was like, "Does he really feel that way?" I was like,
Yeah, you can't really say it at that point
Yeah, I was like,
because that's like halfway through the series.
right.
Mm.
Um,
So you want to believe that maybe he's like got some other vibes.
yeah, I
Right.
I really liked episode 26. There's the whole sequence where Spike goes. It's after Faye, you know, points the gun at him and is like, "Don't leave. Why do you have to do this?"
Hmm.
Um, and that whole sequence where he's going through the building and then the music is playing, like that just felt like an old school kind of sort of mobster, sort of just action movie. The
Yeah.
whole sequence about it, and it was very long. Like that was like a very long sequence up to where it gets to Vicious, and like when he shows up at the door, I was just like, it just reminded me a little bit of like Enter the Dragon. Um,
Yeah, where he
I
like
guess you could,
he was like walking across like this like huge like piece of like artwork, and it follows like him as he's like walking across, and it's just the floor, and then you just see
yeah,
this really long staircase. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like it's like these really wide shots, and he just is facing off in this final showdown against Vicious, but everything just seems so small in a sense. Just because
yeah,
like everything like is like, completely zoomed out, like they just want you to have this like sense of like this is the end, this final culmination. So here's everything like, we want to show you. Yeah, I like it. I love like all the directing in these final two episodes. I think it the pacing in it just feels really I don't know. It's you just have to watch them just
yeah.
all in one.
It's also just like the series is like, especially in these final two episodes, is very cinematic,
Yeah.
and not like cinematic where people will think, oh, like Shaft shows are cinematic. It's like, yeah, Shaft uses like cinematography in their shows, but like this is cinematic in the sense that like if you've seen classics, like classic movies,
Hmm.
um, you watch Cowboy Bebop, like it's heavily, you can see how heavily inspired it is by a lot of classic film,
Yeah.
Hollywood film,
Yeah,
and
totally.
not even just Hollywood film, because like we had bits of French New Wave and other styles of film like spaghetti westerns, all
Hmm.
of that.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that it's like lending to like a bunch of just different directions and different styles, because it really feels apparent, especially like you said in these last two episodes, or really like in episode 26. Um, yeah, this is a this is definitely why it's one of my favorite shows, especially the music too.
Yeah, the music's good. But did you catch in episode 25 there was the whole poster with the Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon thing?
Really, where was
Oh,
that?
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
and then and then in 26 when he shows up at the syndicate, it just like
That's
it
like
just
the
feels
yeah.
like that's just it's like it's Enter the Dragon, or for modern people it's John Wick.
Oh my god.
John,
That's so funny.
Is that the
So
modern day Enter the Dragon? I don't
no, like you've seen John Wick
know.
Chapter 3, right?
Yeah.
That whole like the whole like second half of the movie is just Enter the Dragon. Like where he's going through the whole thing.
All
Like that's
right.
just Enter the Dragon right there.
Yeah. All right. I see what you mean. Yeah,
yeah.
it's good. That's a good comparison. um, I don't know, Ian. What are your thoughts on like what are your thoughts about
Yeah, from what Rolando was saying, I started thinking of these two books I've been working on for school
oh,
about cinema. and like cinema studies and stuff.
Nice.
And like those are just like Deleuze. He's not even necessarily like the most cinema scholar, but there's this notion of a duel in early cinema that is very much, shall we say, it works well in the sort of Eisenstein and D.W. Griffith early cinematic technologies where you had to rely upon the montage, the cut, the rapid cuts of images and like returns. If anyone wants to supply a better definition of montage, but you get that perfectly in the end of this Bebop. It's like a very wonderful. It's almost like the whole series is a very slow motion Battleship Potemkin, and then the last episode is like the movie, the Battleship Potemkin, and you like see it all.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like it's a slow, like like when he's like sitting down and like bleeding out, and like the dudes are still shooting at him. He's taken out a bunch of guys, but he's got his back against the wall, and he kind of chuckles, and like two grenades roll back and just like blow up. It's pretty early in the fight, but he's already taken out a few dudes. That to me is like perfect because you just like see he is like this slow onslaught, but then like him and Vicious coming together is like these two powerful like agents that the audience has to decide what they feel about them. And the cinema works really, really hard to show you the darkness of Spike while still framing Vicious as the antagonist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do get what you mean. I actually recently watched a video because I just watched Parasite, the Korean film, and they have they have a really good montage in that film. And I watched like the Nerd Writer, I think, on YouTube, and he kind of broke down that montage, and he's just talking about like um, like really good montage will show you what's going on and not have to explain to you what the process is. Like the montage itself, its job is to get you from point A to point B by like leaving out like small glimpses of whatever it is, like the monotony of a long period of time. And in Bebop, like, yeah, it totally does a really good job of like you said, showing just how good Spike is at what he does, and showing you that he needs to like he's already signed himself like to making it to Vicious. Like whoever gets in his way is basically done. And it does a really good job of like showing that he is kind of just going through the motions and just destroying like this entire like the whole syndicate. Like he's just taking everybody down like no mercy. But it does it really well in like these like really short clips of him just kind of just blowing through everything. Yeah, man, like it.
Would I know like we're talking about a lot about episode 26. What did you guys feel about 25? Because that one was more like laid back in pace, and it was more of like our formal introduction to Julia and everything.
Yeah, Ian.
Well, yeah, go ahead, man. That's just part one, right?
Yeah, that's
part one.
Yeah.
I was double checking them all.
I like part one mainly because it sets up Julia as this person who has been keeping an eye on Spike, but also kind of been just in the background. I don't know if she's been like avoiding him. Like she says that she's been looking for him, but I don't know what had stopped her before. But anyways, like that, I digress. Like, I liked like
you sound like Spike. That's what he would say.
right. But I just the reason why I like 25 so much is that like chance encounter with Faye isn't totally chance, and I feel like the show has a lot of that where something kind of just happens and it seems like it's an accident,
Convenient.
or it seems like it's convenient, but it's sort of like been planned. And I think that the show like does like a really good job of leaving those like subtle hints. Like Like the whole thing with like the swordfish, where you learn about the swordfish past, like where he got it, because it's like, okay, well, he just showed up at this planet and he's asking this person to fix his ship, and like now we're on this whole adventure. And then later on in the second half of that episode, you find out like, oh, like no, this guy actually has ties to Spike, so there is a connection there. And I feel like the show does a really good job of like setting you up with chance encounters, but not really leaving it up to chance in a sense. Like it will like kind of set you up that way, but it shows you that like, all right, like we're in space, but it's a lot smaller than you kind of think it is.
The world is a lot smaller than you think. But in this case, the galaxy is a lot
Galaxy
smaller
is
than
a
you
lot
think.
smaller. Yeah, yeah. It's the director
Galaxy.
Watanabe, Galaxy Brain.
Galaxy brained.
Galaxy
Well, it is very Outer Worlds before Outer Worlds could be created.
Brain.
That's
What?
why I love Outer Worlds, the game, but like, I'm just like, I could just be watching Cowboy Bebop right now and not have to play it. But,
You don't want to play Cowboy Bebop?
Play.
well, they haven't made that game because playing Cowboy Bebop, I'd be like, well, what happens if I want to play as Ein? And they're like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Right.
Dude, you could totally play that game as Ein because he clearly catches bounty heads all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Totally.
he could fly stuff. Like, that dude's out of control. Like,
Making calls.
but yeah, dude, like when Ein leaves and like when the dogs and children are gone, you know that things are gonna get dark, basically.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
You put the children to bed and the dogs to sleep.
Oh, at least they didn't kill Ein. I was like, what are you guys gonna do to him? Like, where's he gonna live?
Where's he
Like,
gonna live?
he's a fucking ultra smart corgi. Like, in the future.
Yeah, I feel bad when like Jet is like, yeah. Now I get why Spike doesn't like, what do you say, women and children, or do you say
Yeah,
children
you
and
said
women and children?
women and children. Yeah. And then with this whole story Spike tells, he's like, I know, I fucking hate cats.
Yeah.
And then they just start laughing. But like, it's funny because it's like they're laughing and like they're also like kind of reveling in their, like, this is their last interaction together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ending on like this joyous note.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Yeah.
got to the joyous part.
Hey, we got to some joy. Yeah, here's uplifting.
Cool. So, does that mean you guys have covered your Orishiri?
yeah, we're getting back to some happy.
Getting back to the happy, right?
Yeah.
Except that
Sounds
Faye
cool.
tries to stop Spike by pointing a gun at him afterwards.
Yeah. It's like,
That's the
She-
Fae way.
Yeah, she wasn't very happy about it.
yeah. Well, I feel like she realized, like, she came to that conclusion of, you know what, like, these are people who actually, you know, can be there, or somebody, especially like she saw that Jet was that person for Spike, or could be that person, and him going back to like Julia and Vicious was like, I feel like she already kind of knew was like this the end of the road. I don't know. What do you guys think that Faye had come to that conclusion, that the life on the Bebop was where she could belong, or do you think that she was still willing to leave again?
I think that was her whole struggle, is that she knew that this was a place that she could find warmth in. And she says, like, I finally found a place that, like, I could call home or whatever. I don't
Mhm.
know if she said it exactly like that, but then Spike leaving is, like, kind of just denying that
Such a
for her.
fucking dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is, like,
It didn't need to happen. Like,
it didn't,
Right.
but, like, if you think about the whole Destiny thing, like like Spike and Vicious and Julie are definitely destined to clash together again. And I think that's
it's
part
just
of why.
the nature of reality that people make the choices that cause those events. It truly is.
Yeah.
I
I
was
think-
thinking about this earlier. Like, those people that you mentioned, Julia, Spike, especially Vicious, they're the kind of people where it's like they are the problem. It's not as if there is a solution for what they're going through. They themselves are the problem.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
Vicious is a fucking mess, dude. That guy is terrifying.
Yeah.
Also, really cool to watch in shows.
He's a
killing
cool
people with
villain.
Swords and birds. Like,
Honestly.
Gah!
He's a very cool villain.
No, he's like
Yeah.
god tier. He's like up there with Lord Vader, with me at least.
But if you think, because Mark, you asked this earlier,
Mhm.
like what's the real reason why Julia has kept her distance from Spike? I think she was just afraid.
Of pulling.
She was afraid of what would happen because she knows that them being together would probably lead to their own demise, and she's probably afraid not only to lose Spike, but also she's probably afraid of like falling in love and losing Spike because she's fallen in love, but
Yeah.
she's probably still denying it and like trying to keep things at a distance for her own sake and for his
Yeah.
in her eyes.
I agree with that. I think that she's like unwilling to kind of put him through that again because if she does, then I don't think there's either A, any future for them, or B, their future is gonna be just clouded by Syndicate, or they're gonna be chased down by Vicious.
Yeah, just running away
Yeah.
forever.
That's why the first episode is the red-eyed coyote unable to escape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like that's what would happen if they tried to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really though.
Yeah. They would
She-
just get because like the syndicate is
Yeah.
the government, right? So
And then Julia would be pregnant with a lot of drugs.
that was an iconic image.
Like I wasn't really mean that.
In the
but-
future, you give birth to your own drugs. It's great.
Julia.
That's good
I
though.
think-
I
I think
never
I can
thought
say
about it
that.
that way.
Yeah, I never thought about that way.
The
That's-
pointing to the back, the first episode.
Yeah, bring it all the way back. Because that's totally true.
Much
That's on
like
point.
The Gunslinger by Stephen King, Cowboy Bebop is a circle,
Yeah,
cause a wheel.
like yeah, maybe yeah. I mean that's totally valid. I completely agree with that. I think that he is stuck in this like this circle. Like he's gonna get back to his like starting point eventually. You kind of just feel like there's no escape from that. I don't want it to happen. Like I didn't really want it to happen, but I mean like I feel like it's inevitable for him.
It's like those three dudes that wander through every episode. I feel
Yeah.
like they're the last living souls, and everyone else is just like an automaton that's like reassembled every time.
It's just those three
No, I'm
guys who
just
just
kidding
appear
around.
everywhere.
It'd be funny if that was true. I'm not saying that is true.
I do like the little cameo by the bounty hunter guy, the guy on Bounty. What is it, Bounty Law or something? Where his mom
is
is like,
Oh my
Uh,
god! At
talking
the
about-
end, when he's just like a dude.
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah, just like a
"What?"
regular
He's like,
guy.
I'm not even Mexican. And you're like, shucks, howdy, bro. And he's like, don't say that.
He's like, no, I'm done with that.
He's like, don't shucks, howdy me. I'm a man of color. And they're all, well, and he's all, let's fight about it. Let's go.
Yeah. Like I feel like I recognize that because I thought that too. I was like what? Who is this guy? Like, why does he look familiar? And after
He was like a legit dude, though. He's like, I'm going to take care of you, mom. I'm
Yeah.
like, you care about your mom.
yeah, what a
I
good
think it was
guy.
his mom.
That was a touching moment because like
Yeah.
you could tell his mom's like, oh, super senile.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Maybe that guy's like an allegory for the animators. They just working hard. I don't know.
Working hard for their mothers.
For
Putting on a show.
putting on a show, but just like scraping by and then just gotta give into it later.
Yeah, the first time I saw Bebop, I thought everyone had money, but then the more I watched it, I realized that like very few people can even eat. Like, it's really fucked up in their world.
I mean, when you mention it, like the amount of times where somebody is gonna eat just like something disgusting, but like doesn't make a big deal of it.
Do
Like they
it.
were all just
Yeah.
Faye's just eating dog food like it's no big deal. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good tip off that like they'll eat anything.
Yeah, for Faye, it's like, oh, this is meat. This is mine.
Hey, it's food. And Ein's just staring at her like,
He's
wait,
like, "That's mine, dude."
that is
He
mine.
was so bitter. He's like, you're dead to me. he's like, the one food I'm allowed to eat, and now you just eat it.
Fei Fei. I knew you talking to.
Oh, Fei Fei.
Oh, Fei Fei. Oh man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish we got some more happy times. Some more happy times. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Rolando and I are going to be watching the Cowboy Bebop movie this Friday, actually. So it's playing in L.A. on 35 millimeter film, like down at Vista or something.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah,
It's on this.
It'll
What is
be
the theater called? It's on
Good
Sunset.
choice.
the,
Good
the
choice.
the Vista, I think.
The Vista.
Vista Theater, yeah.
Nice.
So it's on Sunset. It's Friday at like midnight. If anybody's interested, I don't know if anybody out there is in LA, but
Wow,
yeah,
you're inviting the internet, bro. That's
yeah. I mean, tickets still are still on sale. I think
I
tickets
like
were
this
like
guy.
$20. So yeah, we'll be there. I actually don't think I've ever seen this movie. I don't even know what it's about. Do you guys?
I don't think I've.
Oh,
I don't
dude,
think I've
it's
seen
sick.
the movie
It's
either.
like pretty fun to watch.
Is it?
It obviously
There's good
happens.
visuals.
It happens before Ed and Ein leave. So before episode 23.
No, it's set after
It's set after?
Spike dies.
Oh,
That's-
wow!
They
It's a
bring
real
him back.
dream this time.
It was
Like,
all
actually
a dream.
though. No, it's definitely before.
They bring him back.
And that's why I love it, because it's like, yay.
You get more of the gang back together, and it's like a full adventure.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you can pretend that you get to be happy, but we'll see.
But
It's actually not that, like, I think the show is actually depressing. I don't know. I'll let you watch the movie, though. I look forward to hearing about it from you guys.
cool. Yeah. So we'll watch that Friday. I'm excited for it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything else on Bebop? Anything else you want to say, Ian, about Bebop before we close that up
Yeah.
until Sunday?
I think that we should say less so that you can say more on Sunday, probably, right?
Well, Sunday we want to hear more about Alec
Alex, thoughts.
and his opinions
Yeah.
because
Right.
this is his first time seeing it.
First time, long time. Yeah.
First time, long time.
I don't
First time
understand how
viewer,
that
long
works.
time non-viewer.
Nice. That was good. All right then. Well, I think that does it for our Orchery for this week. Well, let's move into our news. We got a bunch of news on here, and we're just gonna go. We're gonna go through it. We'll have some discussion. And first up in here, a sequel in some form promises director of Stars Align. I believe that is they're teasing another series or another season.
No, so what happened was this series was supposed to have 24 episodes
Uh-huh.
and it got truncated to 12.
Oh.
But they still essentially animated and edited it down as if it was going to be a 24 episode series, and the director still wants there to be a continuation, but the show essentially got canceled.
Bummer.
I mean, Alec and I have been watching it, and we both enjoy it and think it's like pretty good. But I mean, it's all about sales now in anime.
Do you think it warrants a second season?
Well, the story definitely warrants a second season with the fucking cliffhangers they leave at the end of this series.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's just sort of unfair what they do. They just leave 3 huge cliffhangers for you to either, I guess, read or read what? Read the story?
Oh. Well,
Read the
not
news?
when it's on Google.
But yeah. I mean, I would like to see it get another season because it was still an enjoyable show,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
All right, the 12th and final episode of Stars Align TV anime debuted.
It sounded crazy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When you guys are talking about like all the parent drama and stuff, it just sounded ridiculous.
Yeah. And also, it was a pretty good depiction of
What the hell?
They did depictions of
It was a pretty good depiction
non-binary sexuality. Because like there were people that were unsure if they were transgender or just queer or whatever. Like they did like it was a pretty modern show if you look at it, but modern doesn't sell, I guess. So unfortunately for people that wanted to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think that means? And why do you define that? Well, modern is a whole can of worms. We'll work with it. Why don't you think the modern folk they want this kind of thing?
Because the people running the businesses are not modern.
Infrastructure.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I feel like it's all about sales nowadays.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
people running the businesses and control all the money and have all the power, they don't care about that.
Right.
They only care about what sells a quick buck.
Yeah. I mean, they're in the business to make some money and hope the like customer satisfaction and what the viewers want to see is kind of like second to that, because I mean, they see money as equal to what viewers want to watch.
Now, if this was an isekai,
Oh, if it was an isekai,
it would get a second
sports.
season.
Oh, for sure, in a heartbeat. But everybody wants to watch an isekai sports show. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right. That was a little, sorry, sarcasm. All right, next piece of news here. I don't think actually has that even been done before? It's totally awesome.
An isekai sports
Yeah.
show? I don't think so.
There you go, $1 million.
The closest thing I can think of is Dog Days.
Yeah,
But that was just like a straight on war. But like they don't really like actually die or anything. They just like
was
turn
like a-
into small animals.
But they were like
chibi
fighting,
animals.
like it wasn't
Yeah.
like actual like sports.
That's not sports
unless you
anime.
count
It was a competition.
airsoft, then the SAO at Gun Gale.
Yeah, that's the closest thing you can get to it, maybe. Except some people actually died because someone went in and started killing people while they're playing the game.
Right.
Are you shitting me? In Airsoft or?
No, in
Gun
Sword
Gale
Art
Online?
Online. In Gun Gale.
Dude, GGO is how I judge first-person shooter games. I'm like, is
Oh,
it
it is?
GGO? And they're like, what? And I'm like, you don't even know. You don't even know what I want.
You know.
So you-
I think they even made a game for that, but I don't necessarily play that game.
So what you're
Actually,
saying is that
own it.
you judge first-person shooters on
By
whether you
animes.
on whether you can on whether you can
By
have a
spin-offs
very
from like
androgynous.
animes that were like questionable to some people's taste.
So you're saying if you don't have an androgynous avatar, then it's a no for you.
I'm all, is there a black sword? No, I'm just kidding. I would not play that way. But,
but would you?
I mean to say, is, can you like pick up a weapon? Basically, GGO Escape from Tarkov, really good comparison. Can you go out and farm for weapons and then keep them and then have to still face other players? That's what I'm looking for, because GGO does that where there's like squad jam. We're talking about it too much. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. No, but like I mean, like, would you count that as a sport though? Like I feel like.
That's just a game, I
feel
guess.
like
Oh,
airsoft
so like, is that a sport?
Yeah.
No,
That is a question I refuse to answer on this stream.
no, no. We're not like saying is esports like a sport.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
just
yeah,
saying
yeah.
like we're comparing it to traditional sports anime.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
what?
Is that like a traditional sports?
Oh, that's
anime
not, it's
show?
like it's not a sports
Like, I
anime
wouldn't
because
say.
it's like a cyberpunk anime technically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I
That's
read a list of like cyberpunk animes to show you guys, and I put it on there, and then I crossed it off because I was like, "Is it?"
I started watching it.
But technically, it's like you put on a VR prosthesis, and then you're like, "Whoa, I'm in the web," right? So it's like pretty William Gibson.
Right. Or you have Hanabado, where she's like actually just completely out of her mind. She's not like in a different video game.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
just insane.
She's just in her own world.
Yeah.
You
It's
just
like
reminded me
sort
of
of
that
like
show.
an isekai, but I'm just kidding.
Like in Hanebado.
Oh man, that show.
Speaking of other shows, sports anime with terrible parents
Yeah, Hanabado, man. That
and
was
crazy people, Terrible parents and crazy people. That's what these two shows have in common.
That show. All right. Next bit of news here. The second season of Irregular Magic High School is arriving in July of 2020. That's exciting. I liked that
Yeah.
show. I don't know if
It was
you
entertaining.
guys liked that show.
I thought it was entertaining. It was not. It wasn't exactly like source material, but I thought that it was still entertaining. So I know people like to complain about that stuff, but if I find the show entertaining, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I saw that in your like intro, right? You're all, yeah, I watch trash too.
Yeah, I've been
After listing
watching
like a bunch of great shows. Like
I've been watching anime for so long that like as long as I am entertained, I'm okay with it. Like I don't care if it sucks or is trash, because I watch trash. So
I mean,
what's the point?
Sometimes you gotta watch a show that's not like just completely cinematic. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Do you
but
want to watch
the
fucking?
show was good. The Irregular Magic High School. This was a good show. I liked it.
it's a funny show.
It's an entertaining show. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't really
Yeah.
like that.
Terminology cracks me up from the get-go.
Have you seen the
Maybe
first
that's
season?
just
of
my
it?
perspective. I have seen it,
Yeah.
yeah. I too just sometimes watch anything, and this also applies to classic cinema as well as anime. I don't always pay attention to all of it, especially the classic cinema, but yeah.
Well,
It's a
some of
pleasure
the
in
some of
viewing,
the cinema
but yeah,
you
that
can't
show's
see,
cool.
like Julian Donkey Boy.
Regular. Little Julian Donkey Boy, that actually is pain in viewing. I can't watch that. Dude, Werner Herzog is all you cannot play the harp.
I remember we had to watch that in college, and Ian's like, "I'm gonna have a seizure if I keep watching this
I
movie."
just fucking left. Bro, I do have
You just
epilepsy.
left.
It is
Like,
real.
I was just like, "Dude, you just need to leave." Like,
That's funny. You just left.
Dude,
You're
quick
like,
tie-in. Werner Herzog
can't
was
do
like
it.
working with some folks in The Mandalorian, and they're all, we're just
Yeah.
gonna CGI Yoda, the baby Yoda. And he's all, if you do this, you're cowards.
He's like,
they wanted to make it.
if you do this, I'm fucking
Make an
out.
animatronic Yoda.
He's
they
all,
do.
it
It's
must
like,
be a puppet.
he's a puppet. Well, he's in it. He's in like a couple
And
episodes.
so it was. Yeah, no, it went down.
It is the way, dude.
I'm just saying, Werner Herzog, like that guy, force of nature.
Dude,
Oh,
he's,
yeah.
he's a legend.
He is a legend. If you're not familiar with Werner Herzog, then go look up some of his movies. You'll see some movies that may or may not disturb you, but they're
Yeah.
very brilliant.
Yeah, watch the one
I
about
think making
the
an anime
bears.
about him would be a good
Bear
move.
Man.
Yeah, the Bear Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that one's so disturbing. What? I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but
That's a
you
good
should
one.
watch it.
For
That's a good one.
sure. That's a good one.
That's more of like revealing than spoiling. You know what I mean?
Well, if you know the story of what happens to the guy, then yes, it's more revealing. But it's very disturbing what happens.
I think if you watch the trailer, I think it kind of gives it away.
Yeah.
already. But
Oh God, yeah.
yeah.
But
You gotta
just
prep you.
that's a very good this is a whole like aside, but it's a very good example of audio storytelling, because that's literally only audio telling you the story of what's happening.
What are you,
and
some kind of
it's-
recording arts major?
What do you?
That's a
yeah,
good point.
What you guys?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you did. Huh?
You got your big degrees and your aux cables.
All right.
That's
Moving on
impressive.
here.
No, I totally agree.
sorry.
I have an entire book called Film as Sound Art to try and teach me what you just said, what you already know. I'm still trying to learn. So thank you for saying that.
Look at
But
this guy.
learn-
Yeah.
Flexing.
Look
that
at
he
this
can
guy
read.
learning. This
Dude.
guy still reads.
He can
He
read.
knows how to
That's
read.
why I drink so much. I have to learn all the time.
You drink to forget and learn to try to remember what you've lost.
Don't tell anyone my insider's trick of that's how I do it.
That's his coping mechanism.
That's
That's
fine.
how it all works.
It's actually just that's hanging up on my wall. No, I'm just kidding.
Just have a
Drink to
mantra,
forget.
like, here.
Drink to forget. Yeah, very large letter. Drink to forget and learn to remember whatever
And
else
learn to read.
it is you want to do, and do other things good too. That's it. It says all of
That's
that
awesome.
on my wall.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's good to have
That's
on
a
your
great
wall.
quote.
it's a great. It's a classic.
It's a classic quote.
Great
literary
quote.
classic. I don't know, Ian. You could quote me on that one. All
I
right.
will.
Next bit of news. The first new Death Note manga chapter in 12 years, to be published in February in Shonen Jump. Um, if you're a fan of Death Note, the manga, if we're getting some more of it, I hope that this is something like completely different. Like there's going to be a different story, like, and not just a continuation of Light and, well,
Well,
don't want to spoil, but
can't-
Light, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you can, but it's supposed to be a one shot, but I hope it's like you say. I hope it's just in the universe, but not related.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Like they can reference people, but
from this image, it seems like Ryuk is gonna come back. It looks like he's gonna be there. So I hope it's like he's sort of involved. I hope that he's the connection to the previous series.
story, yeah.
Yeah,
Billy Idol over there.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
All right, we got here. PA Works original TV anime Appare Ranman is announced for April 2020. I think we talked about this one before, but this show looks pretty cool. There's a trailer that's out, and I think it's about like 2 minutes long, and it seems like a really interesting show. I want to watch it. Hopefully,
Yeah. I'm hopeful for another PA Works show
Like a
that
PA Works
doesn't
original.
suck.
um, yeah,
I'm not afraid to say that now. It's been a while, PA Works.
here we
I
go.
want to like your shows again.
Yeah, like the art for this just looks amazing. Like it looks really cool. And it seems like a unique show. Like I don't know any other samurai slash western racing shows.
Yeah.
I,
It's just like a cool style. It reminds me a bit of Sakura Wars.
yeah,
I don't know if anyone has played Sakura Wars,
yeah, I can see that.
but it's like kind of like a turn of the century Japanese style,
Yeah,
like before everything was all industrialized and stuff.
yeah, I feel that one. It's good. Good comparison there. So look out for that show in 2020 in April. So next up here we got Steins Gate Zero. The manga is going to be ending in February. I didn't even know that the manga was still going on. Gonna be honest with you.
I didn't either.
Apparently
I'm
it's
not a
ending.
fan of Steins Gate Zero, to be honest.
What turned you off, man?
I just don't.
That
Is it the
season.
Gate or Stein?
I was not really a big fan of the story.
Really? Okay, so like just in general, you're all this story though.
Yeah, I don't know. It is, to me,
feel
it felt
that.
like it wasn't as good.
I don't know. People were saying that the visual novels were really good though. I don't honestly.
I'd have to play it.
I would have to play it too. I'm a little bit skeptical on that because it seems like maybe it was just different pacing. Maybe the story went a little bit differently. Hopefully, but I don't know. I am very skeptical on the source. Anyways, My Hero Academy ranks number 8 on the New York Times graphic bestsellers list for Japan. January.
For January.
January. Like Japan. Wait, that's
The New York Times bestseller list for Japan.
Yeah, wait.
That probably
Like,
exists, right?
I was like, they're doing lists for Japan. That's really cool though, actually. For a Japanese manga to be rated so highly here in the West is actually
Well,
really
Dragon Ball Super is at number 6.
six.
Or sorry, that's at number 14. It was Volume 6 is at number 14. Sorry.
It is cool. It's a shame some people aren't that big on that show. I don't really see any issues with it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
fun.
Western fans and artists draw tribute art of Hiro Suzuhira's gothic anime. What is it? Anime Angel?
Yep.
I'm not familiar with this. Can you explain a little bit more?
Okay, so
I'm gonna pull
Hiro
up the,
Suzuhira is the artist behind, if people are familiar with like Shuffle, that's like a fairly older visual novel and anime series. But she did the character designs for that. Is it she or he? Um, but
Someone.
said artist did that, and like this image, if you're
Yeah,
familiar
the first one.
with, yeah, the that has been around for a while. Like, if you looked up anime like on the internet back then, like that, most likely that image would show up. It was very
Yeah.
very prevalent, and so a lot of people did like a throwback, and were like, "Oh, remember this image?" And then they started drawing their own
Yeah.
their
And like
own
different styles
renditions.
too. This is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and then
And then Crunchyroll did one too.
Hiro Suzuhira then afterwards saw it trending on Twitter, and then did
Yeah.
his or her own redraw.
Yeah,
Let me
here we go.
see.
In
Oh, it is
2021.
her.
That is cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it is a she.
It is a she.
She is a she.
She.
I should.
She is a female artist.
She is a female.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, the latest updated one, or the one that she redrew, is pretty cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Moving on, we got 3 new manga are going to be launching in Shonen Jump early 2020. I'm not sure if there's been any like announcements for who those artists are going to be, but I do know that the artist of Shaman King, I think, said he's also kind of working on something recently. Don't know if it'll be in Shonen Jump. I don't think his previous one was in Shonen Jump, but I know that he mentioned something. He mentioned that he's working on something, so that'll be cool. Says here Totsuka Undead. So Yoshifumi Totsuka, Hajime Komoto, and Asahi Sakano will launch a new manga series early 2020. Yeah. Asahi won Shonen Jump's Treasure Rookie Manga Award previously. So
In 2014, when they were 19.
Cool.
All right.
Moving on, we got Hatsune Miku and Carrie Pamu are going to perform at Coachella in April.
Huh.
This is kind of a
They'll probably
surprise.
be on the main stage, won't they?
They'll probably be on one of the main stages. I think maybe not main,
Unless they're in the like the sort of rave tent thing that they always assemble, where it's like enter the rave zone, and you're like,
Well, where did
you know what I'm talking about?
where did Perfume perform? And
I don't recall.
and Blackpink.
I think they performed at one of
could
the
check
side
that, though.
stages. Not
Side
at
stage?
not at Sahara. That's like where the rave stage is, like where all the EDM stuff is. But I think that they performed at, is it Mojave? Is that the second one? I can't remember. It's been a few years since I've been there.
This Vocaloid sold more tickets than many humans did.
Well, I think it's interesting that Carrie Pamu is performing, because I thought that she was the more in the West more popular than Perfume. So the producer behind Perfume and Carrie Pamu is the same guy, and so I'm like, oh well, I don't really like Carrie Pamu, but I do really like Perfume. So it was interesting that I feel like she's now there because Perfume is so successful.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the success of like Perfume and Blackpink playing last year has really lent a hand to them bringing different kind of crowds, I guess, or different fans and different music to Coachella, because that's like what the spirit of Coachella is and originated as, is like you have like all these completely just different styles and genres of music coming together,
And art.
Yeah. And now you have Japanese Vocaloids performing. That's pretty crazy, like, to think about.
I'm wondering how the
Coachella.
crowd is gonna accept that.
So confused.
so-
Just mass confusion, but there's going to be like a good chunk of people who are like all
They're
about
like, that's not Tupac. You're doing it wrong.
it.
Or Tupac will also appear.
With Hatsune Miku.
Oh man,
Anything could happen,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
Like it's crazy
it's
right now.
Coachella.
This is the
Anything-
future that
dude.
liberals wanted.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders.
Holograms making out on stage.
Bernie Sanders comes out and introduces Hatsune Miku.
She's all Vota.
Buddha.
Yeah, and he starts speaking in Spanish.
She's like, feel
Oh,
that
no.
burn.
Oh
Oh,
man.
no. All right.
Wow, if all that comes true, we have to buy each other drinks.
Oh man, that would be
Oh man, yeah.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Okay. Enough about Coachella. We got Studio Ghibli's New Year's message mentions 2 new films in production. I mean, I could always use more Ghibli films. I don't know.
Well, one of them I know for sure is the one that Miyazaki is doing for his great grandchild.
It is called.
I think it's for his grandchild.
How Do You Live?
Yeah,
Question?
and that's gonna be for sure his last film.
That's gonna be his last film, huh?
I'm fairly certain that's gonna be his last one.
Oh man, that's
Well, they,
that's pretty big. If he's saying that that's gonna be his last one, I hope it's a good one. And honestly, I think he deserves a break. He's done a lot of work for a lot of years, like 50 years of animation, 40 years of animation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is on here that they also mentioned that Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is announcing a kabuki stage play.
More stage plays.
More
Look
stage
at that.
play. Yeah. Can't
interesting,
get
huh?
enough stage plays.
They should do a stage play of well, what was the one we just saw? The one with the human beings, the one based off of the book.
Oh, Arietti, the secret,
Arietti.
Secret world.
Secret World of Arietti.
Secret life of Ariettis.
Secret World of Ariettis.
that sounds interesting.
It was a good one. It was an enjoyable movie. I was like pleasantly surprised with that movie.
Yeah, it was also one of the more recent ones. So
Right. I didn't get a chance to go watch the Kaguya, but apparently that one also came out in like 2010. I thought it was a lot older than that because the style of it was very 80s like.
everyone just thinks that every Ghibli film is around the time of Princess Mononoke.
Honestly,
It was around the time of Princess Mononoke. Oh, finally a Ghibli film.
Oh yeah, Ghibli.
Gather the children.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
They must witness this.
Just like oh yeah, Ghibli. Oh yeah, so Miyazaki. Yeah, I love his films.
And then they just
Give
name a
my
film that he
child
didn't
like
do.
Howl's Moving Castle. I'm like,
Yeah.
understand
Like the
it.
first movie.
Understand it.
Yeah. Okay, so next bit of news we got Quint's manga artist has no comment regarding the anime's ending in relation to the manga. Wait, are you sure you mean Bokuben manga artist? The Bokuben
I did not type Quince into there.
manga artist has no comment.
I'm not the one that put this in the script.
Okay. Well, I won't blame you because I didn't put it in there either.
Someone else put that in there. I just
what?
I just copied the
link.
link over. Someone else put Quince in there.
Yeah, I was like, Quince. Well, it hasn't ended yet.
Yeah, I'm like, they definitely couldn't have. No, this is in relation to the actual anime because it's clearly doesn't look like it's getting another season because they put an anime original ending.
Yeah, I heard
They
Twitter.
skipped a bunch of chapters and people got pissed.
Yeah, I heard Twitter went up in a tizzy about the ending.
Yeah,
But
the show was good,
it's Twitter.
but the way it ended was kind of a hey, we're not gonna animate more of this, and we're gonna say that this is the winning girl ? Maybe we're not really saying whether it is or not, but that's just it. Yeah.
I
Go
mean,
start a Twitter war with someone. You'll find out what everyone's mad about.
best ending ever. This is how he should end the manga. No, I'm kidding. I didn't watch it. So I don't know. I mean, if was it a satisfying ending?
There was definite closure, but they didn't explicitly say anything. It was just huge inference, but at the same time, you're not really sure. But the manga author saying no comment means like they can't say anything, because if they say no,
Right.
then it means that said girl isn't going to win. If they say yes, then it says the other girls can't win. They can't just say that on their ongoing series.
Right.
They can't say anything about that.
It's gonna turn into another Game of Thrones issue. I don't know. We'll see. Because I think the manga's still going on pretty strong. It's still popular.
I think so, yeah.
All right, moving on. Crunchyroll reveals the most watched anime of the decade by a region. This is going over like North America. Most popular over the decade was Naruto, or Boruto's dad. Excuse me. Naruto,
Nice.
Shippuden, Attack on Titan, Black Clover, Dragon Ball Super, and Boruto. I mean,
As expected.
as expected, just a bunch of shonen shows. Yeah.
Oh, you're so angry about it.
But in South America,
What?
we got One Piece in there. Yeah.
Oh,
South
And My
America.
Hero
that's because they know how to
Academia.
party
And My Hero.
in South America, bro.
Yeah. South America doing it right. And Europe, they just included just all of Europe. Like, there's
They put
not
JoJo in there.
like 100 countries in Europe.
That's a mess of culture right there. What does that even mean?
I love how. Does that even show Great Britain? Oh no, it does.
No.
It does. No,
I
that's
think
not
it's
No,
right.
it
just
does. It's just
Ireland.
the way the color works on the thing makes it look.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's Iceland. I'm so sorry. I'm blind right now. Looking at me.
Well, they got JoJo in there, so it seems like Europe's a big fan of JoJo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Explains some things.
And Black Clover.
Whoa, what does it explain?
What is that?
What are you saying about our fellow European viewers or listeners?
Oh ho ho ho. They like JoJo.
Oh wow, Asia has Ruby in there too. Interesting.
Wait, interesting indeed. Yeah.
Basically, Naruto
Japan
and
too?
Black Clover is going to be everything. They can't. I don't think
So wait, if
Crunchyroll
everyone
airs
in the
Japan.
world watches Black Clover, why will no one fucking talk to me about Black Clover? Like, I don't get it, man.
People will talk to you on Black Clover.
Yeah, there's
Just
a
go
lot
on
of,
Twitter.
Yeah, go on Twitter. That's where all the
Oh,
Black
yeah.
Clover.
I mean,
fan
in real
fans are.
life, like,
Yeah.
where do these people really exist, dude? You know,
Are you talking about in real life? People won't talk to you about Black Clover.
no one I've met in real life has seen or enjoys that show.
It's probably because there's so much yelling in it.
Probably.
There is too much, perhaps. A lot of yelling.
I stopped reading the manga maybe like where the anime is actually like right now. Like they're in like the whole elf thing. I don't know if you're caught up, but it was good. Like it was enjoyable. But yeah, the show was like unbearable to watch for me for the first like 10 episodes.
Oh yeah.
I stopped
yeah.
after 4 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't watch this anymore.
To stop hearing about the yelling.
Yeah. You just,
Yeah.
Make it
I
stop.
watched it in order to not watch Naruto and anger my brothers.
I mean, it's a good
your
show.
brothers watch My Hero?
They probably do, man. They're actually not that diverse in their viewing. It's a lot of Naruto over there with the youngsters
Still Naruto. All right.
and all the variations.
Naruto's popular, man. It's either Naruto
Naruto's
or
popular,
Attack
yeah.
on Titan. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Probably My Hero
it's
now.
true.
Yeah.
One Piece? No One Piece? Make Mark
My
happy?
Hero's cool. One Piece is cool.
One Piece is dope.
It should just make you happy, man.
Yeah. One Piece also gives you the feels too.
The feels.
Yeah. All right. Next piece of news. Miki Yoshikawa launches a new manga series, Kako no Inazuki, on January 29th, 2020. This is it's the author of Fairy Tale.
Yamada-kun and Seven Witches.
Yeah. That was like this looks like very Fairy Tale like Mashima. She worked as an assistant for Hiro Mashima. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, this is a very similar art style.
Yep.
The Seven Witches. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Apparently the Seven Witches, like, it got canceled sometime last year.
With the manga?
Yeah.
I thought the
Interesting.
manga had ended a while ago. It says the manga ended in February 2017.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. Just kidding then. Well, that's cool.
Was it the stage play got canceled?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh man.
Would not be surprised. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about something else. Well, I probably am. Anyways, Comiket 97 sets a new record with 750,000 attendees across all 4 days. Giddy.
Wow. Did you see I posted in Discord, it was an image of Eneko, the really popular Japanese cosplayer, and it was like her Instagram story. And
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah.
it was like a huge circle of all like gotta be like 2,000 photographers like trying to take a picture of her, and they're like in a radius of like I don't know, like half a mile around her. It was ridiculous.
Wait, no, I didn't see this.
That was
picture.
really funny.
No, yeah.
That's ridiculous. I mean, 750,000 people for a convention? That is a lot of people. I mean, I know it's across 4 days, and like, not everybody goes every single day. But I think last year, didn't they have like, it was like 150,000 like Friday, and then like 200,000 Saturday or something?
It was something.
It's pretty crazy.
The crazy thing about Comiket is how organized the lines are.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen videos of like, well, it's like it's just like constantly moving, and there's just like crowds of people go into like one slot,
Yeah.
and then like,
And
it
people
just
actually
fills in.
wait
Yeah.
their place in line.
It's amazing.
You know where
Wow.
they don't do that?
Everywhere
Anime
else in the world. Anime Expo. specifically.
About rugby matches in Liverpool.
Everywhere else in the world.
Everywhere else.
Or
But yeah.
more specifically, yeah, Anime Expo. Yeah.
People,
You
it's
want to talk
cultural
more about
difference.
the lines in Anime Expo?
You know, it's culture. It's cultural difference. Americans don't like to wait.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's because we die really fast. We
It's-
can't wait.
It's because we want everything now.
Now,
Just
gotta
want
have
it.
it now.
Gotta have it now. And yeah, people are impatient and rude.
Yeah,
Well,
hey,
anyways.
I mean, that kind of ties back to our discussion earlier. The first piece of news is like our buy now, throw away everything mentality.
Yeah.
Everything is
That's-
expendable.
Hmm.
Even our
Even
anime.
the beloved shows and
Our anime
mangas.
is expendable too.
Oh my
That-
gosh.
that is
Is
true.
it though, or is it what defines us?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't want to be the authoritarian voice here.
What is it, Ian?
Yeah.
What is it?
I'll tell you what it is. You should all watch Fire Force because it's fucking awesome.
That is a
Fire
good show.
Force is good.
That is a good show. That's also getting a second
I wish I
season.
had been caught up when you guys were talking about it because I would just listen. I'd be like, I don't know what the fuck this means, but it sounds gnarly.
Oh man. It gets intense.
Anyways,
Yeah.
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 Anyways, last piece of news on here, guys. The manga Ananarumono, or the Elder Sister Like One, has a OVA announced for sometime later this year. I think in summer. This is the artist Pochi. If you are familiar with it, it looks like this. This is like, this is like older sister like personified. This is gonna be a good one.
Is that your fetish, Mark?
What? I will neither
Those are some pretty
Neither
dolphins,
deny
boy.
or confirm.
nor confirm that statement. There also may or may not be hentai based on this series, so be careful if you're going to read this
Be
one.
careful.
So
Yes.
just gonna
Watch
throw
out,
out that
guys.
little bit of a precaution out there to you. Yeah, but it's a
NSFW, NSFL.
NSFW. Yeah, but it's like it's actually like a super sweet series. Um,
Sorry about that.
yeah, it's all good. Yeah. So I think that does it for our news. Man, that was a lot of news. Let's move into our happy hour. We will not be doing our 2019 awards tonight. Unfortunately, we will do that on Sunday when everybody is here. But we can go over some other shows that we are also watching in 2020.
Or planning to watch.
We're planning to watch. Yes. I believe you guys all watched Madoka, the new one.
Oh yeah.
I did.
Yes.
Did you watch the new
The new game?
new one that just released? The new first episode?
I believe I did.
Magia Record.
Magia. I was trying to find the name of it. Magia Record. It's like super long.
Yeah, it's like side story of Puella Madoka.
Magica, Monica.
Because I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. I also don't.
You know how my brain works? It's atemporal. I think it's okay to talk about
It's
it.
okay. All right. Well, Mark, you saw this at least, right?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah.
I actually didn't. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember if I watched the movie. But like I know what happens and like what the lead up is to this. So I must have watched
Okay.
it because I'm like plot wise it makes sense to me.
Okay. You know about, like, you have an inkling of the whole come to Kamihama and you can
Yeah.
be saved.
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably have seen the movie if you
Yeah.
know what the significance of that.
Yes, I think so. Either that, or I think I may have because I started playing the mobile game, and that is like essentially the story, and I think I was like confused
Oh,
there.
that's awesome. I thought
Yeah.
about getting that, so it's good.
It's pretty cool. I thought it was cool. Gameplay is like a little bit slow, but I mean it was fun.
It's like a pretty old game, isn't it?
No. They just came out like sometime late last year. The
But
mobile,
the game in Japan is old.
the game in Japan is older. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I still need to play Shadowverse, by the way. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's all good. But yeah, this new season seems like it's gonna be pretty good. I don't know if you're a fan of the first season of Madoka. I think that this one is gonna be. It kind of like ticked all the boxes for like what you want in like a Madoka series. It's like it's sort of kind of creepy, but like very subtly so. It's still got great CGI. It's like got great direction. The characters are really enjoyable, or at least seem interesting to.
Well, they already know, like, that if you're watching it, you're familiar with it. They're not baiting you like they do in the first series for the first couple of episodes. Like they just straight show you that things are messed up and
You're like,
Yeah.
is it good to be a magic girl? They're all maybe no.
No, don't.
no,
do
like that's
it.
actually like the question, like the episode title is, "Have you heard about the Magic Girls?" or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
And they're just essentially talking about like like how you become a magic girl. It's actually a pretty good introduction, I guess you could say, because like they talk about the origination of magical girls. They don't flat out say what happens to one, but they do allude to it
right.
and everything.
Yeah, there's like a lot of
Oh,
oh kitty, Just, like,
your little
fall asleep.
Cube there.
Cube, young Cube. Yeah, I think they do a pretty good job of kind of just sort of catching you up on things and not exactly explicitly just straight out explaining things to you. Um, yeah, I like that the cliffhanger kind of leaves you with that, like she's slowly remembering things,
Yeah.
and only in glimpses. Because yeah, I think from where I got like in the game, yeah, there's like a whole deal with why she can't remember. Of course, I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna pull.
Of course, the
some,
main character's an amnesiac.
right. They're gonna pull some sort of memory and like time thing with you. Yeah, it's gonna be all kinds of.
Yeah.
mind
I was
blowing.
totally gonna watch like new episodes of this, but I heard your homie talk so much about JoJo. I watched like a bunch of that to figure out what the fuck's going on.
You watched a lot of
And,
JoJo things to
I'm
Drew.
not saying I regret watching it. I'm just saying I wish I had watched Madoka first.
Well, the episode just came out this last
Yeah, it
last
came
week.
out like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw like because I've been trying to watch a bunch in the off chance that you guys would hit me up for something like this, and I've been trying to like scan a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, what have
What did you
been,
think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what have you been watching? Why don't we get into that? Yeah, because we'll talk. More
I watched
Madoka
Violet
next
Evergarden.
time.
Oh,
Oh, now we're talking.
now we're talking. Mark, you got a drink.
Oh, shit. Drink to that one.
If you don't know the
Yeah.
rule on our show, Ian, anytime
Gladly.
Violet Evergarden is mentioned, you got a drink.
I got a drink.
Oh, do
Yeah.
I have to say it like Violeta Evergarden? That show was like, this is a romance. I'm like, oh, cool. And they're like, she's a. Wait, are we talking about it or no?
Yeah,
No, yeah. What
yeah.
did you think about it?
All right. So at first, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know, I don't know if I give a fucking shit, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, what's wrong with me that I don't care about people like at all? That I won't even watch them fall in love? And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then it's all, no, she's a kill bot. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? You let me on with this romance. And her memory is interesting. I don't know. I really like the use of typewriters in spite of the possession of androids. Like they're all, yeah, we need a typewriter though.
Yeah, but they
like,
have
for
like
this.
advanced technology.
They
stuff.
they have like advanced limbs and all that.
Yeah.
But it's still like a cyberpunkish type world.
Yeah, I thought that was really fun.
Yeah.
What were your overall impressions?
It's
This
always
was our
interesting
anime
to
of the year
see
last year.
The gendering of technology at play. Technology seems to be gendered feminine very frequently, and people take great pains to make it this way. For example, Ghost in the Shell, or you know, Neon Genesis Evangelion has this whole like weird mother thing going on. You know what I mean? Like, there's a weird. That's a whole nother can of
I
worms.
think that's a
so
whole
here
different
it
can
is
of
again.
worms.
It's like, what would it be like to have the prosthetic woman? Seems to be the question of Violet Evergarden, and the answer is, well, first she would be created for war, you know, but then she might be able to do more.
Did she learn to love
Yeah, does she learn to love
and
That
have
is-
human emotion? That is the question.
That is also an excellent question.
If you haven't seen Violet Evergarden, these are the questions you ask. I don't know, I'm just putting this out there. It's good. I really like Violet Evergarden. It's one of the better, I guess you could say, modern classic anime.
I think so too. I think that
Yeah.
it had a lot going for it. Just design, direction, art style. I think
Acting.
acting, the music. I think that it just had a lot of good things. A lot of really talented people that were working on that show, and you can tell, especially with how well it was received, like globally. I can't wait for the movie to come out too, in the
Yeah.
States.
I think it just released in China.
Yeah, I'm gonna adjust this screen and see if that fixes your video issues, Rolando.
What, do I keep coming in and out?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's,
even
your,
I've
for,
been
for me,
watching
your
the,
camera is...
feed, and you're fine,
Is
Rolando.
adjusting.
You're not like flickering or anything, man.
I'm gonna do this for
I don't
now.
know.
Well,
The one thing that does happen is like every so often we are flying around the screen, but that's been interesting to watch. So
And now I'm just big though, so oh well.
That was all you wanted.
That was really just
You just wanted to be big.
I just thought it'd
bigger
be
than
fun.
everyone else.
Yeah, I was like,
he wanted us to be
yeah,
small, man.
I want to have power over these guys. Look up to me. And my respect and love for Violet Evergarden is far greater than yours.
Oh no.
No, I'm just kidding. No,
So
but
then, what appeals to you so much about the prosthetic woman?
no, I think she was an interesting character, especially because she felt like she had like nothing to live for and was almost like this empty shell of a person. But throughout the entire show, like she just like starting to pick up like and learn different emotions and learn about the world and learn about herself. That's what I really enjoyed about the show.
If you want to, because we've talked about this at length a lot, you should go back and listen to some of our previous episodes where we cover it. We also have a few shots where we go a little more in depth to like the technical side of stuff. Like we talk about the cinematography and editing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah,
Should
yeah.
listen.
Definitely listen to that because that was pretty fun. I actually really enjoyed when we talked about, or we could get into really technical things.
Yeah.
Yeah, give that a listen because that was fun. It was enjoyable.
There's a lot of significance with flowers
Yes.
and flower meaning. So
The
we
blue
do
flower
talk
in the
about
land
that.
of technology, right?
Just in general in the show.
Mhm.
If like, we talk about it in, I would listen back to some of our previous episodes because we talk about flower language when we talk about the show when it was airing.
Yep.
Cool, man.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else that you're watching or that you just recently watched, Ian, that you want to talk about?
Yeah, like I told you guys, I powered through Fire Force. I started watching a bunch of Magi too because it was about to get kicked off of what I was streaming on.
Oh, Magi. Oh, that was a good show. I kind of forget about that show sometimes. But
What show is that one?
Magi. What is it? Something
It's like
Labyrinth?
all these weird Aladdin characters and stuff. Yeah.
Aladdin characters?
It's about Sinbad and Aladdin.
It
and
is.
Alibaba.
Alibaba. I'm like, I guess I care about these people.
It was.
I don't think I've seen it.
It was a fun show. It was cool to watch. I think the art style of it is pretty cool. Like the animation, was done really well. Especially that like all the characters were just very unique, or at least had like somewhat unique powers. I don't know. What did you think of the show?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Totally watchable, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. If you've never seen it, I think it'd be worth to give a try, especially if you're a fan of like team style like shonen or like shonen with like multiple characters that are like the main characters, sort of like Black Clover or
Right.
the
Oh,
Seven
it totally
Deadly
is like that.
Sins.
It really is like, yeah.
Yeah, like Seven Deadly Sins where you have like a team up of like main characters. Yeah, it was fun. I think I don't know how it got because I started I read the manga too and then I watched the show, but like in the manga like later on it just started getting like really complicated. That's why I dropped it. But I think in the anime I think they stopped like right before that. So
Yeah, it's pretty simple in the anime. So I was like, I can just watch this.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
watched
it's
a bunch of No Guns Life, Demon Slayer. But
Yeah.
I think you guys talked about that stuff already.
mm-hmm.
What do you think about Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer is cool, man. I have a good time watching that show.
Yeah, I think that is probably and in this like sneak peek for our awards or 2019 awards that we'll do next week is I think that'll probably be my 2019 anime of the year.
Demon Slayer?
Yeah. I think just the amount of like buzz that it got, how popular it was, the animation, yeah, not necessarily like my favorite, but I think overall, I think that was the one for me.
Was your favorite a different show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you guess which one was neither my favorite nor my best anime of 2019?
Neither. Your
Wise
favorite?
man's
Yeah.
grandchild.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That was a good one. um, Shield Hero.
No. Which one was not either? Um, which one would I never choose for my best of 2019 or favorite?
Steins Gate.
There's only one show recently that I've been talking so much shit on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, your favorite, Doctor Shokugeki. No, definitely Shokugeki. That one was your anime of the year, anime of the century, probably.
Yeah, sure. Definitely loved that one. Um, all right. What else? Why don't we just talk about shows? Because have you seen a lot of the premieres? Or was it just Pet and Madoka?
I still haven't seen Pet, but from what I hear, it's complicated, because there's a time jump, that it doesn't really prepare you for. It's like I was saw briefly like somebody just talking about because they were confused about what happened. So I looked at it, and yeah, they were just like, wait, there was something that happens where there's this a bit of like there's a bit of a time jump. Just pay close attention to like background characters and like kind of what's going on the outside of like main characters, and that will clue you into like who is involved,
Okay.
between the two times. Um, so yeah, that's why I read it. I was like, I kind of want to know because there's like this really broad explanation for the show that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It seems very complicated, but I'm interested in it. I need to watch it.
Yeah. So we were supposed to do that for a 3 episode rule last season,
Right.
but it didn't come out until this season.
Yeah. And that's available on Amazon Video, Amazon Prime Video. So if you have that, you get access to that. But I did just watch Keep Your Hands Off Azokin, and that's on Crunchyroll. And I think that's gonna be probably one of my nominations for the like 3 episode rule. It's gonna be an interesting show. The art style is pretty unique. The main characters I should say want to create an anime, so they like join this sort of like banded together anime club. Like there's an actual anime club at their school, but they're all like not really allowed to join. So they start like just getting together and drawing like backgrounds, and yeah, the one with the tall girl. So they start like drawing like backgrounds and characters, and they come together and start putting their drawings together, and they go into the world of their drawings, and so everything, all the animation completely changes to like this really like rough sketches of like it's hand drawn, and it's pretty cool. It was quite a unique show, so I think that'll be enjoyable to see what like you guys think about that one too.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool. That was the one where the main character's voice, I was like, she sounds like somebody I know, or like somebody like another VA that I've heard of. Um, but like she's brand new. But the other main girl is also somebody who was in
Gridman.
Gridman. Yes, yeah, Akane. There you go. Thank you for having a better
I remember
memory.
that conversation.
Yeah, you were there. I was there too, but I don't remember. um, Other than that, yeah, what else have I watched? I just
You said you watched part of not Demons, Darwin's game, right?
yeah, I watched Darwin's Game. That was interesting. Probably not as
Now,
bad as King's Game, but
is it so with 3 episode rule, we want to pick shows that
yeah.
we're not necessarily gonna watch. Like it's not like on our high priority list.
Yeah.
Shows that aren't like super hyped or whatever. So do you think that's a good candidate?
I think so. The only caveat is that the first episode is 45 minutes long.
Okay.
But
Fate Zero's first episode was like 45 minutes long.
that's true. But it was interesting enough to keep me engaged. I kind of like already know. I already have a feeling of how this series is gonna like kind of play out. Uh, but like it's still interesting because I don't know. I mean, it's like a one of those mobile phone games where players have to do what it says, and then if you don't, there's punishments, and like you need to go around killing everybody. So it's sort of like a battle royale, but the rest of the world doesn't know what's going on.
Wait, isn't that the exact same rules to King's Game?
King's game, sort of. But it's not like, oh, you need to do this, otherwise you die. Like, here's a punishment.
Okay.
It's like you go into like you're like in this like battle royale sort of game with other selected players, and then you have to choose like what happens to each other. Yeah, I don't know. And then each player has a
Right.
unique ability. Yeah, it's interesting.
We'll see.
It might be an episode 3 or like a 3 episode rule show.
We'll see what everyone else says.
Yeah. Um, I don't know what else have I watched. But still haven't seen Haikyuu, but that comes out tomorrow. So yeah. Anything that you've seen?
I've only seen Madoka.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get this website working
Right.
for the past 2 weeks. I haven't been able to watch anime.
No. I mean, most everything is coming out this week, so there was only like three different series or 3 new shows that came out over the weekend, and then everything else is coming out this week. Oh, you know what? I watched Somali and the Forest Spirit or Forest Sprite.
How
and
was that one?
That was good. It's wholesome. I'll probably just keep watching it because it'll fill the shoes of, what was it? Ascendance of a Bookworm.
Bookworm.
Yeah.
Well, if it's like that, then I'm gonna watch it for sure.
Yeah. It was fun. It was cute. I'll keep watching it. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That-
I mean, I guess does that do it for this, guys? Anything else?
I guess so. Ian, what
Ian?
about you? Anything
I
you
feel
want to
like
talk
I've
about?
said a lot.
It's all good, man. I mean, well, thank you for joining us, especially like such late notice.
Yeah.
Rolando just hit you up, and Ian was like, "Yeah, thanks for
Thanks
coming in.
thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, thanks for dropping on us."
Yeah, thanks for dropping on us.
I did drop on you guys.
That was clutch, man. No, but thank you. I mean, it's always fun. It's always good to see you. It's always good to talk, man. Anything you want to shout out? I know you've been streaming on Mixer. I don't know if you want to shout that out to yourself. Tell us what you got going
Oh.
on.
That is something people do, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess why not? So I've been streaming on Mixer, and if you guys want to drop the link, you can. But it's basically just mixer.com and then TheIrishGoodnight, which is also my Twitch username. And I play most any game I can stream, like I said last time. It's the Fallout weekend, though, so we're going to try and get some experience points for my shitty pistol characters that I built because I love weak characters. I love to see if they can win. Like, it's a fun challenge.
Are you gonna do Resident Evil 7? Or
Yeah,
Outlast?
actually, that's probably going to happen after I go confront my landlord tomorrow.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah, they do this thing where I like pay the rent, and then they're all, "You didn't pay the rent," and I'm like, "Okay, here's the proof," and then we do that every so often.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
they're the best.
All right. Well,
But yeah,
put
cool,
the
guys.
link there I just put the link there in chat. If anybody wants to go over there,
Oh
and
shit!
give it a
Yeah,
follow.
cool, guys. That's it. Like,
I think that's the
yeah,
one.
we did pretty well today. So been doing pretty good in the new year. And if you guys play games ever, we would love to watch those and talk about them too, man. And if you ever want to come down to Mixer and have not the same podcast, but adjacent, similar thoughts, maybe about games instead of animes, hit me up.
Yeah. that
Oh,
sounds
you're
like
starting
fun.
a gaming podcast? Is that what
Oh.
that's what you're saying?
Yeah, I want to add that.
He's throwing down the leaks.
Ooh.
That's right.
These are
And
the
then
announcements.
and coming soon will be me actually making music for Rolando in the Mixer.
Nice.
Oh,
In the mixer.
in the
But
mixer.
In the mix with the Irish Goodnight.
that's right.
Nice.
That's what we'll call it.
That's
In the mix.
that's what it's gonna be called.
In
Nice.
the mix. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah, that's cool. So definitely, if you're into playing some video games, give the
If you
Irish
still
Goodnight a
do
follow.
that.
But yeah, be on the lookout. I think that sounds like a good time. We should totally look into that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, thanks again one last time for joining us, Ian. It's always a pleasure. And if you want to, you can follow us on Twitter at Anime on Draft. That way you can stay up to date. We'll definitely be posting up Ian's or the Irish Goodnight's mixer on there. And anything else, any other plans that we have going on, you can also stay up to date with when we go live on Twitch on our Twitter feed. But as I said, we are streaming live on Twitch. We usually stream on Sundays. Things are a little bit different this week. We had some things coming up, but that is twitch.tv/anime on draft if you aren't already watching. But thank you to those who are in the chat and who are watching. We greatly appreciate it. You can find all our previous episodes on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just give us a follow there. We have tons of episodes. You can listen to our shots, especially the ones that we talked about, Violet Evergarden. And you can stay tuned with our next episode where we're going to be talking about our 2019 awards. Excuse me. And that'll be with the whole gang. You can also send us an email if you have anything else that you want to talk to us about. animeondraft@gmail.com.
No, that changed.
Oh, that changed. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't pull up
look
the
at
script. I can't pull up the script.
Contact at animeondraft.com.
Can talk. Contact.
Can't talk.
Contact animeondraft.com. Sorry, I can't pull up the script right now. Thank you. We are working on a website, like Rolando mentioned. We're trying to get that together. We're running into a couple snags with some of our migration to get to our previous episodes on there. But
Yep.
we will have that up soon. We are also working on a updated logo, so stay tuned for that. That's exciting.
You can see the website. It's there. It has the last 2 episodes up. The previous episodes just you'll have to go to SoundCloud for because if you try and click on an older episode, it'll just bring you to an error page.
Cool.
Nice.
But animeondraft.com
But
is
it's there.
Is there.
Nice. Yeah, I think that does it. We also have an Instagram. We have links to all this stuff down below on our Twitch page. So if you want to see pictures of the beer or whatever else we're drinking or doing throughout the week, you can go to our Instagram. It's Anime on Draft Podcast. And yeah, if you also feel so inclined on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else, you can leave a review, leave a like, say something about why you enjoyed the show, say something nice about us. We would be very happy to read stuff like that. Yeah, thanks again, guys. It's been a good one. Thank you, The Irish Goodnight. It's been fun, and I think we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.